What's up, party people, and welcome to STONIECAST number 191 and season 6, episode 17 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 191st time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow lowlifes, heathens, fugitives from justice, shady characters, scumbags, hoodlums, criminals, scoundrels, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, wise guys, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. You know who you are, and thanks for watching. Cheats, fienders with abusive language, gangsters, degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, that means you probably fit into a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us, gooba gabba, one of us, we accepted one of us. Know the reference, that's all I gotta say. Now, hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right hand corner. Ring that bell, that way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word is very easy. Just tell other degenerates, scumbags, and fienders you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so you can get dialed into everything that I drop on you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. And I just give you the picks. No player props and absolutely no parlays. Why? Because I like my money. I don't like giving it away. I like it right here where it belongs. The books don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
That's what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week and get the info for you in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got. Listen, give me all you got.
There you go, Al. Never gets old, does it? I'm going to start with a couple of housekeeping notes, and for now, at least through the new year, I'm going to continue to do Wednesday STONIECASTs, but after the new year, at some point, I'll be moving on to Friday night STONIECASTs as the bowl games get dialed way back and the NFL and college football playoff takes center stage. Why on Friday nights, though? Because Saturdays from now until March will be completely dominated by college hoops. And I'm going to put out a shit ton of picks every Friday night for that college basketball Saturday going forward. Now, there will be tweaks come tournament time and especially during conference championship tournament time, but I'll keep you posted. As this week and next week and the following week will probably be Wednesdays as well, but maybe right after the new year we might be switching, but I will keep you posted. Now's the time I should probably be going all in on the college football playoff selection committee, right? But I won't. Here's why. It's the most thankless job in sports, where someone will always be upset no matter who gets in and who gets left out. This is just another reason why I was against the expansion to 12 teams. 4 was perfect. As I've said a million times, and if they were going to expand, either 6 or 8 would have made more sense to me. But it makes no difference how many are allowed in because someone will always feel snubbed. I mean, look at Selection Sunday in March. What's the first thing you hear? Who got snubbed? There cannot be a playoff system like the NFL where winning your division and wild cards based on best records gets you in. That doesn't work in college because there's just too many conferences. And the formation of super conferences made that point moot because a team that finishes 9-3 in the SEC should make it as opposed to a group of 5 conference winner, unless they're ranked. Now, we can spin our wheels over and over here, but it's not going to change anytime soon, except for when they expand, and they will. And for that fact, I do not blame Notre Dame in the least for refusing their bid to a bowl game. I'd do the same thing. Good for them. The problem is now There will be a couple of NCAA teams with losing records that sneak into a bowl game because there are simply too many bowls right now that don't mean anything. Not to mention the two group of 5 teams who, let's face it, don't have a freaking chance to win the college football playoff. It's just not going to happen. Lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to defenses. Anybody that knows me knows that in baseball I prefer a 2-to-1 pitcher's duel than an 11-to-10 home run hitting contest. It's the same way in football. I wanted to vomit when on the first Sunday of the NFL regular season, Sunday Night Football, the Bills beat the Ravens 41-40 in what many were calling one of the greatest games ever played and, quote, an instant classic. Please, stop. Spare me. How about a little defense? It can't be the greatest game you've ever seen if nobody's playing defense. What I saw last Saturday night in the Big Ten championship game between Ohio State and Indiana was easily the best football game I've seen all season long. The two best teams in the country with two of the best defenses pounding away at each other at the highest level. Just as riveting to me was Sunday night's Chiefs-Texans tussle. Now, that game got into the 20s and got to overtime. Or, no, it didn't go to overtime. But, the defenses, it was hard hitting. And the defenses just kept getting after it, especially on the Houston end. Now, God bless Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Indiana, Ohio State, the Texans, the Broncos, Chargers, Seahawks, Browns. In this day and age of pass-happy football where all the rules are against hard hitting and any type of contact with the quarterback draws a flag, it's great to see defenses taking over again. And don't be surprised if either the Rams or Seahawks are in the Super Bowl against either the Texans or the Broncos. In the CFP, Indiana and Ohio State are still the favorites, and it ain't because of their offenses. Now, as for the week that was, NCAA Conference Championship weekend was solid, as I delivered 5-3 on Friday and 6-4 on Saturday to get to 11-7 to start the postseason off with a bang. NFL was a roller coaster, as I missed on Thursday, rode the ups and downs in Sunday's first session, and got burned by Pete Carroll, a.k.a. the asshole. I'll get to that. But I hit the Texans on the spread, the money line, and the under Sunday night. Right? Monday night I missed again and continue to lose on Monday Night Football. As this time Jalen Hurts' 5 turnovers did me in. I just can't I got to get something going on Monday nights. I just can't figure them out. But in college hoops, right, they started out not so good, and I hovered around 500 for the week. But I busted through the door on Saturday and Sunday and delivered another winning week. Though it wasn't a great week, it was a winning week. Let's take a peek at the numbers. Last week, 62 wins, 47 losses. 56.88%, which is very good. And that's now 5 straight winning weeks. You're welcome. NCAA football postseason now. 11 wins, 7 losses. 61.11%. Those are huge numbers for week 1. NFL for the season. 131 wins, 91 losses, 3 pushes, even 59%. That's top notch. 58 was the goal. I'm at 59 now. I mean, hey, why not why not shoot for 60 in the regular season? That's the goal. NCAA basketball, 184 wins, 137 losses, 57.32%. I went down a bit last week, but still solid. As for the degenerate special, 11 wins, 8 losses, 57.89%. Hitting both sides of the Big Ten championship certainly helps there. Thursday night, 18 wins, 12 losses, 60%. Excellent. Sunday night, 10 wins, 6 losses, 1 push, 62.5% after I hit the Texans in the under on Sunday night with a sprinkle. Monday night, like I said, just can't get it done. 8 wins, 11 losses, 42.1%. That's just awful. Okay? Now, overall, all 16 episodes so far this year, every single pick that I've given you, as it's over 900 picks already, 559 wins, 395 losses, 10 pushes, 58.59%. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? I mean, but what does it all mean?
Wow, winning.
That's what it means. That's right. Tell him, Charlie. Once again, please remember now that all these picks are 100% free. So for all those touts out there, like on Two for the Money, I just watched that movie the other night. It's a well-made bad movie. Let me just say that. Especially if you're a degenerate gambler. And if you're watching this, then you are, Tree. All right? So for all the touts out there that are charging you for picks, right, like John Anthony and Walter, right, and are giving you 75 to 80% winners, stop. Come on, right? We all know that you're full of shit. And plus, you're charging for these picks. Oh! I mean, how does that happen? With me, it's simple. All the picks are free. Just come to YouTube every week and I'll give them to you. Plus, I want you all to know that these picks are all of my bets that I'm going to personally make with my own money. So I'm not just throwing darts at a dartboard and blindly picking random games. All right? Y'all ready for this? Away we go. Episode 17.
Just win, baby.
Attaboy, Al. Way to be on the Johnny on the spot. The new week began yesterday as ESPN's V Week turned it up with the Jimmy V Classic, and I wound up dropping a top-notch 6-1 on that ass out of the gate. Already up and using house money, let's move on to Tuesday night's college hoops plays, all right? 7 Eastern on ACC Network at Purcell Pavilion in South Bend. I'm going to take Notre Dame at home, laying 11.5 versus Idaho, because the Vandals haven't beaten anyone, and the Irish should bury them at home tonight. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus at the Henderson Center in Huntington. That's the California in me, sorry. Just can't get it out of my system. I like Western Kentucky here, catching 1.5 at Marshall with a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
There you go. Attaboy, Earl. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus at the Riley Center in St. Bonaventure. I'm going to roll with Colgate plus 10 on the road at St. Bonaventure because both teams come in on a 4-game heater, but Colgate has the D to keep it close. 7 Eastern on Big Ten Network at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. I'm on number 6 Purdue here, minus the big number at minus 21 and a hook over Minnesota as the Boilermakers bounce back from their lone loss on Sunday and Minnesota doesn't have the horses. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus at the Siegel Center in Richmond. Give me New Mexico on the road plus 9.5 at Virginia Commonwealth. I like VCU, but this is a big number to lay, so I'm going to back the Lobos. 9 Eastern on Big Ten Network at Pinnacle Bank Arena in the land of Lincoln. I'm going to take Wisconsin here on the road, catching 1.5 at 23rd ranked Nebraska with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle.
There you go. And lastly, at 9 Eastern on Mountain West Network at Extra Mile Arena in Boise, give me Duquesne on the road, catching 13 and a chunk at Boise State. That's 7 more plays to keep the train rolling after a hot start last night to really get out ahead of the books heading into the weekend. NFL Week 15, ready for this? It gets going tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern on Amazon at the Sombrero in Tampa. Is the 7-6 Bucks or 4.5-point home chalk versus 4-9 Atlanta, and the total set at 44.5. It could what only be described as a total waste of time, right? Remember when the Bucks were good? Remember when Baker Mayfield for MVP was the talk? Yeah, me neither. They've lost 4 out of 5 and have become irrelevant. And they got caught by the Carolina Panthers in the NFC South. The Falcons have lost 7 out of 8 with their only win being over the Saints 3 weeks ago, right? 2 bad teams, but it's still a rivalry. And the Saints went into the sombrero last week and won, so I'm going to roll with Atlanta here on the road, plus 4.5. Saturday, what used to be a standalone game is no longer that, but it's still the best rivalry in sports, as far as I'm concerned. And at 3 Eastern on CBS at the Bank in the charmed city of Baltimore, 9-2 Navy's a 6-point favorite over 6-5 Army, and the total's 38.5 as these two academies meet up for the 126th time. November 29th, 1890 was the first matchup, and it's been played every year uninterrupted since 1930. 10 sitting presidents of the United States have attended this game, beginning with Theodore Roosevelt in 1901, and last season President Trump attended as the president-elect. No word on whether he's going to be there this Saturday. This is the rivalry of all rivalries, and while friendly, it's pretty freaking intense, right? This season's matchup has Navy, who was on the outside looking in on a potential group of 5 berth in the college football playoff a couple weeks ago, right? But that fell apart, and the Middies finished strong, though, right? By taking out South Florida and Memphis, and what that did was it set up the stage for this matchup against an Army squad that has been kind of hit or miss this season, but they finished by winning 3 of their last 4. The triple option is featured prominently in this matchup, and don't expect any aerial theatrics. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, and I've stood by it for over 20 years now, doesn't matter what the number is, take the dog and the under. 8 of the last 10 in this matchup were decided by 1 score, and 8 of the last 10 have also gone under the number. Last year, Army was a 6-point favorite. Navy got the upset. I'm going to roll with Army here, catching 6 and under 38.5. Bowl season, for some strange reason, kicks off Saturday night at 9 Eastern on ABC at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Always up to no good. Shout out Pac and Dre. 8-4 Washington is an 8.5-point favorite versus 9-4 Boise State, and the total's 51.5 in the LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? I'm all in for anything hosted by Gronk. Give me some of that candy. I love it. Love me some Gronk. Think everyone does. I don't know how you couldn't, right? Unless maybe you're a fan of somebody in the NFC East. Washington has been a major question mark this year with a stud quarterback in Damon Williams and home and road splits that are just striking. But they were physically beaten up by Oregon at home 2 weeks ago in Seattle. Boise had a rough start but got hot late to earn a spot in the Mountain West title game last week, and they won it by taking out UNLV in one of my many, many winners.
Hoo-ah!
That's what it was. It was something like that. Bronco quarterback Maddox Madsen, he returned and delivered last week, setting up an intriguing matchup here, right? A good quarterback matchup. I like Washington a lot, but while this is not a road game, it's a neutral site. And I can't lay such a big number to a dangerous Boise offense. I'm going to take Boise State plus 8 and a hook and over 51.5 to kick off bowl season. Back to the NFL, Week 15 Sunday, 1 Eastern on Fox at NRG Stadium in H-Town, as the 8-5 Texans are 9.5-point home favorites versus 3-10 Arizona, and the total's listed at 42.5. There's not much to say about the Cardinals except that they're absolutely terrible, right? Houston, on the other hand, has to be terrifying for the rest of the AFC because their defense is not only elite, but it may be good enough to carry D'Amico Ryan's squad to the Super Bowl. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are the best edge rusher combo in the NFL. They have lightning fast linebackers, 2 lockdown corners, and a safety that should be an all-pro. All that means is they just pound away. And Zona might not score Sunday, let's face it. I'm going to take Houston and lay the big number at home, -9 and a chunk. 1 Eastern on CBS at Everbank Field in Duval County. The 9-4 Jaguars are 12.5-point home chalk versus the 3-10 Jets, and the total's 42. Jacksonville is another team that could be scary in the AFC playoffs, and they've won 4 in a row. But they're still not trustworthy, as I still believe that Trevor Lawrence is going to cost the Jags when it counts the most. The Jets right now, it's simple. They're struggling. Joe, was that you?
Struggling.
I knew it. One more time, Joe.
Struggling.
That a kid. Thanks, Joe. They're just a mess. The Jets are a mess, have been a mess, and are going to be a mess, and they're getting worse. But I'm still going to take the 12.5 on the road here with the Jets because I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. 1 Eastern on Fox at the Link in Stoniecast. The 8-5 Eagles are 11-point home chalk over 2-11 Las Vegas, and the total's 38.5. I haven't addressed it yet, but I have to now. I have to, right? I agree with Dave Portnoy when he called for the metaphorical murder and the jailing of Pete Carroll after the shit he pulled last week. If you don't know, catching 7.5 against Denver or 8.5 with less than 30 seconds left, the Raiders complete a pass in the middle of the field and the time's going to run out and the game's over because they're out of timeouts. But a mysterious penalty comes in for a delay of game on the defense, which wasn't even a penalty, right? And because the clock stopped, Pete Carroll, the buffoon who cost the Seahawks a repeat by throwing the ball from the 1-yard line, trotted out his field goal kicker to kick a field goal on the last play of the game to cover the number through the back door. And Mark Davis fired Chip Kelly for this? Really? Forgive my language here, but hey, Pete, fuck you, Eagles -11. 1 Eastern on Fox at Snoopyville in New Jersey. The NFL gets summed up very easy here with another awful matchup as the 2-11 Giants are 2-point home favorites versus 3-10 Washington, and the total's 47.5. No Super Bowl implications here, and I'm advising you not to bet this, but if I have to choose, I'm going to take the Giants at home -2 because I got to take somebody. But I'm certainly not betting this one. 1 Eastern on CBS at Shaving Cream Stadium in Foxborough. We finally get a good one, maybe the game of the week, as 9-4 Buffalo's a 1-point road favorite at 11-2 New England, and the total's 49.5. Buffalo's won 2 in a row over division opponents, while the Pats have won 9 straight, running roughshod through the AFC. Sure, the Pats haven't beaten anyone, and they're due for a loss, and this could be a statement win for the Bills, but Buffalo doesn't have that it factor that they've had the last few seasons, and New England does. Pats +1 at home with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man.
40. Tell them 40. 1 Eastern on CBS at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The 6-7 Chiefs are 4.5-point home favorites versus the 9-4 Chargers, and the total's 41.5. I hate to be that guy that says, I told you so, but you know what? I told you so. Back at the start of the season, I told you the Chiefs would not make the playoffs. In last week's Stoniecast, I told you the Texans would win outright at Arrowhead Stadium and KC would be 6-7. Well, here we are, and the Chiefs are toast. The Chargers are coming off a huge win on Monday night, and now they're on a short week heading to Arrowhead. I'm on the Chiefs here, right? Their season's over. Chargers are going to the playoffs, but I like the Chiefs to win and cover here, but I also like under 41.5, and I like the under more than I like the Chiefs. But those are my two separate plays for that game. 1 Eastern on CBS at the Jungle in the Queen City. 6-7 Baltimore is a 2.5-point road chalk at the 4-9 Bengals, and the total's 52. The Ravens got hot when Lamar Jackson returned from injury, but he's clearly limited this year and hasn't been the same quarterback that won 2 NFL MVPs. Joe Burrow's back for Cincy now, and they just beat the Ravens 3 weeks ago in Baltimore, And this Sunday, they'll make it a Ravens sweep, right? Bengals plus 2.5 at home with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle, my man.
There you go, Earl. 1 Eastern on Fox at Soldier Field in the Windy City. The 9-4 Bears are 7.5-point home favorites versus 3-10 Cleveland, and the total's 40.5. The Bears' 5-game win streak came to a halt in last week's loss at Lambeau Field in another one of my many winners.
Hoo-ah!
That's what it was. Thanks, Al. And you're welcome, by the way. Cleveland is a catastrophe that has been defensive dominant all season. And the one time when their offense showed up last week, the defense didn't. And they lost to the lowly Titans. Bears have been winning lots of games, but not blowing anyone out. So I'm going to take the Doo-Doo Browns here. Shout out Luke Campbell. Cleveland plus 7.5. 4:25 Eastern on CBS at Lumen Field in Seatown. Shout out Mix-a-Lot. The 10-3 Seahawks are 12.5-point home favorites versus 8-5 Indianapolis, and the total's 42.5. Seattle's smoking hot, and the game of the season in the NFL is a week from tomorrow on Thursday, also in Seatown, when the Rams come to visit in a game that could go a long way into deciding the NFC's top seed in January. I'm a little worried about the Seahawks looking ahead and not putting their foot down here, right? Especially against the Colts squad that went from penthouse to outhouse in the course of the last 5 weeks. And now they're without starting quarterback Daniel Jones, who's out for the year. Riley Leonard's the quarterback, but he's banged up. And the Colts are actually working out Grandpa Phillip Rivers for a possible comeback. Forget about it. Seattle minus 12.5. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at 501 Denim Jeans Stadium in the Silicon Valley. The 9-4 49ers are 12.5-point home favorites over 2-11 Tennessee, and the total set at 44.5. The Titans somehow got their second win of the season last week over Cleveland, and now they got to travel cross country to face a Niner team that is clearly in the NFC playoffs, and they're coming off a bye. In an interesting twist, this is the fourth game of the weekend with a number either at 12 or 12.5. Niners minus 12.5 easy. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at the Superdome. And speaking of the easy, the Big Easy. 7-6 Carolina's a 2.5-point road favorite at the 3-10 Saints, and the total's listed at 40.5. Carolina's obviously playing well this year, and now they're in the driver's seat to win the NFC South. The Saints are a mess, but quarterback Tyler Shuck has infused some life into that offense the last few weeks. The Saints beat the Panthers a month ago in Charlotte, but I don't see it happening twice. Carolina's the public's play, and as much as I hate going with the public, I will this time. Panthers minus 2 and a hook, although that game could be Trap City, but I'm going to take the Panthers. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Always up to no good. Shout out Pac and Dre. The 10-3 Rams are 6-point home favorites versus 8-5 Detroit, and the total's 55.5. The Ram Chops are cruising right now as the NFC's top seed, while the Lions' identity is balls to the wall and go for it every single time, right? The problem is that they haven't been the same since they blew the NFC Championship game 2 years ago in Santa Clara, and they're now on the outside looking into the playoffs as the third best team in their own division. The Rams are going to win this one, right? But the Lions have the firepower, especially indoors, to keep this one close in another rematch of Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff, who were famously once traded for each other. Lions plus 6. 4:25 Eastern on CBS at Mile High in Denver. 9-3-1 Green Bay is a 2.5-point road chalk at the 11-2 Broncos, and the total's 43.5 in what is the game of the day. The Broncos have won 9 straight on the strength of the NFL's easiest schedule, and they made themselves into last year's Chiefs by winning games by the skin of their teeth. They failed to cover in 5 out of 6, with their only cover being over Kansas City, and that's not looking too good these days. Forget about last week's Pete Carroll travesty, and look at the Packers, who've won 4 straight to take control of the NFC North. Denver will now see what it's like to face a good team for once. Green Bay -2.5 on the road is the play. And while I'm at it, with these top two defensive units, I'm going to take under 43 as well. So that's it for the week. Oh, wait a minute. You mean there's more NFL on Sunday? Am I finished?
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I guess I am. All right, let's soldier on. After waiting all day for Sunday night to see Carrie Underwood's iconic legs at 8:20 Eastern on NBC at Jerry World in Arlington, the 6-1 Cowboys are 6-point home favorites versus 5-8 Minnesota, and the total's 48. After winning 3 in a row to get back to relevance, the Cowboys lost in Detroit Rock City last Thursday to effectively remove themselves from the playoffs, while Minnesota played their best game of the season in shutting out Washington last week in J.J. McCarthy's best game as a pro. Dallas wins, but Minnie's defense is going to be good enough to give the Vikings the alligator blood that they're going to need to be hanging around.
Hanging around. Kids got alligator blood.
Oh, Teddy. You're the best, Teddy. Vikings +6. Finally, to close out the week on Monday night at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle in Steeltown, USA. 7-6 Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point home chalk over the 6-7 Dolphins, and the total's listed at 42. It's hard to get a handle on both of these teams, as the Steelers lost 3 out of 4 before taking out Baltimore last week on an extremely fortunate call that handed Pittsburgh a win gift-wrapped. The Finns were a mess a month ago, but now they've won 4 straight, and they find themselves eyeing a spot in the playoffs. It's not going to happen, and Miami usually plays poorly in cold weather until last week. I'm going to take the Finns here, catching 3 in a chunk. That's it for the week. But a new week begins next Tuesday, and since I won't be doing STONIECAST 190 until next Wednesday, is that 190? I think I had that right. Yeah. We do have a bowl game Tuesday night. Now that's going to kick off it's going to start the new week, but it goes Tuesday night, 9 Eastern on ESPN at the historic Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Is 8-5 Troy is a 4-point favorite versus 8-5 Jacksonville State, and the total's 46.5. Oh, man. This is the Salute to Veterans Bowl, right? Troy lost to James Madison in last week's Sun Belt Championship game, but they did get me a cover.
Hoo-ah!
Something like that. As a matter of fact, that's precisely what it sounded like. Jacksonville State lost a tough Conference USA Championship game last Friday to Kennesaw State, and now they only have to travel 120 miles to Montgomery, while Troy's trip is only 50 miles. Right? So this has the makings of a good one, as both schools look to end their season with 9 wins. These two squads are pretty evenly matched, but I side with the Jacksonville State running game here because their rushing attack is headlined by Cam Cook, and it's very good. Give me the Gamecocks catching the 4 and under 46.5 in what should be a defensive struggle. That's 18 NFL plays to go along with 4 more college football plays, 7 college basketball plays for tonight, and daily NCAA hoop selections. Make sure to check out the comments section right here in this video every single day for more college hoops picks daily, which will just keep coming from now all the way until April. Also, keep your eye out for STONIECAST 191. It's 191. That's going to drop on Wednesday, next Wednesday. So until then, just remember, if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. The less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out Chris the Bear FALLICA. For me, the action is the juice.
But for me, the action is the juice.
I'm in. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, Good luck to you. And yep, I still miss you, Gooch. My brother.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.